Alright, Shalom Akim. This is Brother Barak. Welcome back here. Another one to the Spirit and Power of Yahawashi. First and foremost, I think all praise and glory be unto the Father and the Son, Yahawashi. Alright, double eyes, those apostles, over their great millstone, rolling, talking this truth and sincere citation be unto the brother pushing his word through truth and sincerity, risk life for him to do so. Alright, and Brother Barak, welcome back here. Another one to the Spirit and Power of Yahawashi. And the Spirit and Power of Yahawashi. I just wanted to, put out this video on, this article I came across. Alright, basically showcasing that Salakia. This article is basically showcasing the current world events, man, and where all these nations stand, pretty much. Alright, and that is against each other. Alright, we've always told you guys through the Spirit that there will be alliances formed. And this particular article is basically stating, because America, the shift is coming. You know what I mean? The shift is coming. A lot of these nations, realistically, behind closed doors, they don't see America as an ally no more, man. All right. And much rather, they'd rather see America out of power than in power, and then using them because, I believe it was the last done, I stated, I think it was I was in transit. Basically, I was just referring to how, these nations basically milked America. They got their resources, they got their jobs, they got their loans, they got their financial aid. All right, yeah, America's in their country via military, but when you really look at it, they could just kick them out or just do whatever, with the assistance and the help of other nations. Okay, and I was going into basically how the situation with Greenland can erupt into something even bigger. All right, and the way the situation is going, we would love to see that because that's basically prophecy, man. Again, we don't know how this is gonna, go down. We do know that certain nations are gonna rise up against other nations. All right. In particular, a lot of these nations are gonna rise up against America. They're gonna join forces. And we already told you guys, the beginning stages of war is, economic disasters. Trade agreements not going through. Money stop flowing in. When you start effing with a country's economy, that is an act of war, man. Okay, because you're messing up resources, you're messing up income, you're messing up people getting certain things, etc., man. All right. So, this was the board piece, and the way I came across this actually was because of Canada. Canada got their invitation revoked from this. All right, so they're no longer invited to it. So, I started going and looking at other articles, and I just started laughing because America and Canada are going through it, man, and they're neighboring countries. All right, so hey, man, you see what Trump do to Canada? Don't be surprised what you're gonna do to Mexico, Venezuela, all right, Argentina, and even Greenland, a NATO ally. All right, like that. All right. So it says Trump's board piece would have global scope, but one man in charge. All right, and that's how they want to have it, man. Okay, which really the elites is obviously pulling the strings, but Trump is the face of this shit, man. All right. It says President Donald Trump newly proposed board of peace, an international peacemaking body that he is a championing alongside the United Nations, representing a striking challenge to traditional global institutions and raises questions about the future role of the United States in world diplomacy. All right, so basically, America aiding, America aiding these other countries, going to war for these other countries, all this shit. Okay, and if you guys been basically paying attention to America, Donald Trump wants to become more independent. He wants to keep a lot of the resources in America. Okay, he wants to actually not give out so much more to a lot of these countries. Okay, that's what he's trying to do. All right. All right, and whether it's the elite's plans, a distraction, all that is going to cause tensions because a lot of these countries, a lot of their money thrives off America, okay, or their allying neighbor country that they get resources from thrives off America. So it would be a chain reaction, man. Right? It would be a chain reaction that basically affects a multitude of these nations, man. Okay, and that's what we've been trying to tell you guys, man, because this is the beginning stages of this, man. Okay, where the scriptures told us that the beast would hate the whore, man. Okay, the beast is the whole European Union. Okay, you have the United Nations, you have Spain, You have England, etc. Okay, Germany, Russia, all that, man. Okay, which Russia's not even in it, but you know what I mean. Okay, all these and again, man, all these nations, they got their own armies now. You know, they got their own resources. They can make their own agreements now. They don't got to go through America no more. This isn't the 1920s, 30s, 40s. You know what I'm saying? So those days are over, man. These countries are essentially established, man. Okay, and they want to actually get out of that debt that the Federal Reserve has, and that's why a lot of these countries are joint allies like BRICS. Okay, so they can start to fluctuate and create their own source of economic growth without America. It says Amos chapter 3 verse 3. It says, can two walk together except to be agreed? Okay, and that's essentially what you're seeing here, man. A lot of these nations, again, they would rather see America out of power than to continue getting aid and all that shit from them. Okay, because they know what it comes with, man. Okay, the scriptures told you that already when they were talking about how the beast would hate the whore. Not only the beast hate the whore, but they've waxed rich off her, basically her whoredoms. Okay, waxed rich off America's riches. Okay, America is literally a business country. Everybody around the world goes there for cheaper schooling. Okay, to set up small businesses and big businesses, and even corporations build within America because it's much more cheaper. But those days are slowly coming to an end. Okay, because we're starting to find out what the cost of living, not only the cost of living, but the cost of maintenance, taxes, etc. in America has gone too high. So a lot of these countries, not only countries but people, businesses, corporations are starting to leave. That's what the scriptures told you. Okay, a man shall return to his own people. That's what it was speaking about. A board of peace grew at Trump's declared ambition to end the war in Gaza. Okay, brought it in global conflict resolution organization, and he also talked about that too. Okay, because he was talking about, oh, I can end the Gaza and Israel war and overnight. He was saying some crazy shit. You know, he's just prideful, obviously, but you know what I'm saying, he's saying some crazy shit. It says originally floated in September. The intentive, I can't even pronounce Slovakia, okay, was envisioned as a mechanism to help oversee a ceasefire, post-war grievance, and reconstruction. And that's not gonna happen, man. Okay, there's not gonna be no ceasefire. This shit, that Gaza war in Israel has been built up for years through the Lord's will. Okay, because a lot of these nations are literally, all these nations are going to either side with Israel. Okay, which even Israel's gonna turn their back on America in the end. But they're either gonna side with Israel or Gaza, and a lot of these countries are siding with Gaza. Okay, all right, because you already know America's on the Israel side. They fund Israel heavy, and they've been doing that. They're the ones who essentially created the state of Israel. Okay, when you really want to go into it. Okay, so again, this is all gonna boil down to war, guys. Okay, this is what we've been trying to tell you guys for the longest time. Okay, all these little meetings that are growing and growing every time, every year, the same shit is going to grow into something even bigger. All right, this is Mark chapter 3 verse 25. It says, and if a house be divided against itself, that house should not stand. Okay, so you can't be in the same house, you're all divided. Okay, the house is gonna be in chaos, confusion. Okay, and essentially the house of the United Nations, they're not in agreement, man. Okay, you already have Canada talking about how they oppose Trump trying to take over Greenland, and you don't think these other neighboring countries are gonna do the same shit? You don't think they're gonna neighbor and partner? Some of them might even partner with America, but a lot of them are gonna probably partner against America. Like, yo, if they can do that to Greenland, what makes you think they can't do that to us if they get even more power? That's what they're really gonna think. So they're gonna be like, yo, fuck this, we out of here. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what's gonna happen. All right. Trump has since expanded the remit beyond the Middle East, saying that it's abroad to help resolve conflicts worldwide. He will serve as I guess chairman, okay, of the group charter, tasked with promoting peace and working to resolve international disputes. All right, see, so this man's trying to play God, man. Like, he's trying to have a hero complex, man. You ain't gonna save shit, man. Okay, you ain't gonna save shit. All right. And that's why these nations are over that shit, man. They're over America, always trying to step in and be the bigger guy, be this, be the daddy of this shit, and then later claim what is it called? Oh yeah, we did this, we did that, you know, because America gets pride off that shit. They're over that shit, man. All right, that's why this shit hasn't been settled, man. If America really had it in them, they would have solved this shit by now. Everybody would have not been beefing and all that, man. This shit's over with, man. All right, verse 26 it says, "And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided," that's exactly what's happening. Okay, Satan is rising against himself. Okay, these Edomites are the physical embodiment of fucking Satan, man. They're the left hand side. All right, and they're all divided against each other. Okay, yeah, they all want power, greed, and all that. They have the one, one world order and all that shit. But you don't think even with among their ranks that they be beefing and shit over small shit? Okay, they're like, oh yeah, the Goyim or the Goyim, whatever. But us, yeah, we're the big dogs, and we have problems within ourselves. All right, and he cannot stand but have an end. So this shit's gonna have an end, man. Okay, eventually all the confusion has to stop, guys. I hope you know that. Okay, even in real life, you're dealing with confusion and shit. Eventually that shit's gonna, burn out. But you know what I'm saying? This shit's eventually gonna give, man, because this is not sustainable. You're not supposed to go and people are always bombing each other and killing each other and always having problems, and then it trickles into this and it turns into that. That's not how you live. All right. All right. These goddamn heathen need a proper ruler over them, man. Okay. It says the initiative has drawn mixed reactions from world leaders and diplomats. Some U.S. allies have greeted it cautiously. So luck you. And a number of traditional Western powers have expressed concern that the board could undercut and sideline the United Nations peacekeeping role. Countries such as France, Norway, and Sweden have declined to participate. And there you go, guys. There you go, man. Again, these nations are over this. They're over the meetings. They're over, what I'm saying, going over, having listened to this man always talk, man. They're over that, man. Okay? They're over that. They're off that. They don't want to do that shit no more, man. They want to roll how they roll and do what's in their best interest and not do what's in the best of Americans' interest because they fund us and they give us money every year. They don't want to do that shit no more, man. They're over that. Okay? While others have not yet committed to joining. Exactly, because they're in the 50-50. They're like, hey, okay, let's weigh out our assets. If we join, what's going to happen? That's exactly what's going on, guys. Nahum chapter 3 and verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. Exactly. Esau's shame is finally being exposed. It's finally being shown. His tactics, the things he likes to do. Okay, that pride, guys. That pride. America has the biggest pride we've ever seen from any nation, man. Rightfully so, man. They conquered the world, but, you know. It says, and I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. Okay, so all these nations, all of it, all right, all the shame, that's why all this shit's coming to light, the Epstein shit, which is all distraction, but still it shows the filth and the abominations that these goddamn Edomites be partaking in behind closed doors. It says, verse 6, and I will cast an abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile and set thee as a gazing stock. Okay, so soon America's gonna become the laughing stock, man. Let's read this last paragraph. It says, support for the board has come in a diverse group of nations. Several Muslim majority states, including Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Qatar, and Pakistan, have agreed to participate. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, okay, has also committed to joining. Meanwhile, others invitees have shown hesitation and are still weighing their involvement. Okay, guys? So there you go, man. All right? Hey, man. This dude stays trying to, play God and have a hero complex, man. But it ain't going to be enough in the end, man. All right? In the end, the Lord's ways will prevail. And again, like you said, like Scripture says, it says that shame is going to be unveiled, man. All right? So with that, man, I'm going to give all praise and glory to our Father, Son, and Yahawashi. Until next time, I'm going to say Shalom, Akims.